Hey guys, welcome to the video for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. My name is Vince SGN. This FF7 Rebirth video is sponsored by Square Enix for providing me with a free copy of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to show you an early game Cloud build that is absolutely disgusting. Now, I want to preface this video by saying I got the idea for this build after watching a GameSpot YouTube video where they used a similar build but with Yuffie. Now, I didn't want to copy their video exactly, so I decided to change it up a bit and use it with Cloud because I'm guessing this version of the build can be used a little bit sooner than theirs because for their build to work, it requires Yuffie, a character who joins your team a good bit into the game. Okay, so first I'm going to go over what the build does and then how to put it together. And keep in mind, this is a fairly early game version of the build, and I'm quite sure that it can be modified later in the game to be even more devastating. Okay, so what it does is it uses the enemy skill Plasma Discharge to repeatedly deal burst lightning damage over and over as much as possible. This is done because Plasma Discharge skill, once cast, causes your character to erupt with a lightning explosion every time it gets an ATB charge. Now, if you don't have the enemy skill Plasma Discharge, you can get it super early in the Grasslands. Please see the video that I've made that goes over in full detail how to get Plasma Discharge. The link to that video will be on the end screen of this video, so make sure to watch this video to the end. Alright, so the weapon that seems to work the best with this build so far for me is the Sleek Saber because it has two weapon upgrades that directly affect your ATB gauge, ATB charge rate and weapon ability ATB recovery. ATB charge rate increases your ATB gauge faster when using basic attacks, and weapon ability ATB recovery refunds some of your ATB gauge after you use a weapon skill. Equipping both of these on your weapon upgrade slots help you to get Plasma Discharge to activate more often. For an accessory, use the Speed Demon Keychain. This is an accessory that you get from Roche when you defeat him in Junon. Now, just as a side note here, to get this keychain from Roche, I think a prerequisite is keeping all 5 of your Shinra soldiers alive before the fight with Roche. For more information on that, please see my Roche boss fight video guide. It'll be on the end screen of this video as well. Now, when it comes to materia, you're obviously going to need to use the enemy skill materia, but after that, equip the yellow steel materia for the Mug ability. Mug is an ability that, once used, refunds a portion of your ATB meter. Next, equip Time Materia so that you can cast Haste on Cloud so that he can recharge his ATB even faster. If you don't have Time Materia yet, you can get it by winning a high score in Pirates Rampage minigame in Costa del Sol. For more information on that, you can check out the video I made detailing when and where to get the Time Materia. The video will again be linked on the end screen of this video, so please make sure to watch this video to the end so you can get all those video links. Alright, next is going to be the Purple Complete Materia First Strike. This is helpful so that you can get a bit of ATB boost at the start of a fight. Use this to cast Plasma Discharge as quickly as possible when you first get into a fight. And then finally, ATB Stagger. ATB Stagger provides a boost to your ATB gauge whenever you successfully stagger a target. Oh, and one new addition that I just made to this build is the ATB Boost Materia. I picked it up from Chadley directly, I'm not even exaggerating, directly before heading into the Gold's Saucer. It doubles ATB when activated by pressing R1 and L1. Now, like I said, I'm sure that there are, in later chapters of the game, there will be more materia to add to this build to make it even more overpowered, but use this as a basic guidelines to create your own powerful combo. And when you do, come back to this video and let me know what you were able to create. So now I'm going to talk about characters. So when it comes to characters, the only team that I've used this build with is Barret and Aerith. Now this is something that I did borrow from GameSpot's video because these two seem to make the most sense with this sort of build, mainly because they both have the synergy ability called United Focus, an ability that adds a third bar to your ATB gauge, which is absolutely ridiculous for this build. Just make sure that when you're controlling them, have them use abilities that increase their synergy. You can tell what these abilities are by the synergy charge indicator icon that is displayed on an ability if it increases synergy. This is what it looks like. Cloud and Barret have a synergy skill, not an ability, but a skill. A skill is something that you can do whenever you want in a fight. It's called Bullet Batter, and it's used with Cloud where you do 3 ranged attacks in a row. This attack can be done on the ground and in the air, and it does fill the synergy bar. Okay, next let's talk about shortcuts. Now, the last piece of the puzzle is to set your shortcut skills for both ground and air. Head to the main menu and select combat settings. Now I'm only going to show you what I did for Cloud, and then you can decide for whatever else you want to do with the other characters that's comfortable for you. I have mine exactly the same for ground and air. Disorder is my L1 and square. It's a skill you pick up from using the Rune Blade, and just as a side here, you get the Rune Blade from Junon right before fighting Roche from a purple chest that will be in plain sight near a rest bench. Disorder is a weapon skill attack that can be done on the ground and in the air that refunds a portion of your ATB gauge. For my L1 and triangle, I have Mug. For L1 and circle, I have Snow Flurry. I have this equipped because most things in the game seem to be pressured by ice-based attacks, at least so far in the early to mid-game, and things that are pressured easily become staggered, and when they are staggered, that activates ATB stagger materia. And then finally, on my L1 and X, I have Sonic Boom. Now, I equipped this because it grants bravery and faith, and it can be done while in the air. Bravery increases your overall attack power, and faith increases your overall magic attack power. To get Snow Flurry, you're going to have to select it on Cloud's folio board, and Sonic Boom is an enemy skill that comes with the enemy skill materia. Alright, so let's move on to combat. Now that the build part is out of the way, here's how I've been using this build. Start the fight and cast Plasma Discharge on Cloud, then switch off of Cloud and use Barret to attack whatever the enemy is. Barret gets his ATB pretty fast by doing a normal attack and then using his Overcharge ability. Once Barret has an ATB gauge, I'll use either Regen, Barrier, or Protect on Cloud. The main goal here is to keep Cloud alive so he can deal damage. Next, I switch back to Cloud and start attacking the enemy. I like to use air attacks mostly because Cloud's air dodge seems to be a lot better than his ground one. I'll use Mug to quickly fill the ATB gauge up after a few basic attacks, and that causes Plasma Discharge to go off. After this, I'll cast Haste on Cloud using the Time Materia, so his ATB charges faster. From there, switch to Aerith and use Regen on Cloud if I haven't already, so Cloud constantly gets HP back. Switch back to Cloud, I will start to spam my shortcuts while dodging enemy attacks and finding windows to use the Bullet Batter synergy skill. With Aerith and Barret, I use their ATB gauges to throw attacks that fill their synergy gauge, mostly with Barret though because Steel Skin and Maximum Fury both increase his synergy meter. And Aerith is just my healer for real, making sure that Cloud and Barret's health stay up. Once Barret or Aerith has their United Focus Synergy ability ready to go, I use it, and then from there, I really just spam Mug over and over while air dodging incoming attacks. This will quickly stagger most enemies so you can finish them off with weapon skills like Disorder or Braver. Alright, so that's going to be it for this build. Like I said, I know this isn't the absolute 100% best version of this build, but it is very effective and a great place to start from when you're going to create your own version of this build. Now, if this video was helpful to you in any way, shape, or form, I'd really appreciate your like on the video. For more, please head to my channel and check out my playlist for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. My name is VII SGN. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.